Hey, welcome to UK Wildcrafts. I'm out for a walk in early winter, looking at what I can find to forage. I'm mostly looking for mushrooms, but the main mushroom season is pretty much over now because the mushrooms of autumn don't particularly like a frost, and we've had some heavy frost now. So a lot of those mushrooms have died off, but there are some frost tolerant mushrooms and some that specialise in winter. So I'll be keeping my eye out for those. And I'm going to be camping out tonight, so hopefully I'll find some before I set up camp. But I have only got about an hour or so left of daylight, so I do need to set up camp fairly soon. This is an absolutely amazing find, pretty much exactly where I was planning to set up camp. I found a massive haul of winter chanterelle mushrooms, and there's absolutely thousands of them here, and these are a really good edible mushroom. And this whole woodland floor is absolutely covered in them. These are beautiful mushrooms. Look at all of these here. Masses of them. If you look down here, they don't necessarily pop out at first, but once you get your eye in, you can just see these are everywhere. And this just carries on all the way down this woodland. The good thing about these mushrooms is, because you usually find them growing in such large numbers, you can easily collect enough to dehydrate for the rest of the year. And I could collect hundreds here and not really make an imprint on how many are still growing. Alright, that'll do for now. I'm sure there's more patches in other parts of this woodland as well. I don't want to take too many from here. Also, it's starting to get dark now, so I need to go and find somewhere to set up camp. Yeah, this area should do fine. Find a nice flat area to set up my tent. So there's just a bit of flat ground there. It's pretty secluded. I had some pretty heavy rain last night, but I did have quite a good sleep in the end. And this morning I found some velvet shanks. These are one of my favourite winter mushrooms. They get their name because the stems feel quite velvety, and as they get older and get exposed to sunlight, the stems go black, whereas on younger ones the stems are still quite yellowy orange. These mushrooms are really easy to spot from quite far away. It's a nice bright orange colour. It really stands out in the winter woodland. I'll just take a few of these and leave the rest to grow because it's quite early in the season still for these. They're more of a January mushroom. You can see a lot of them are really tiny at the moment, much smaller than my fingernail. And these ones are just pinning here. So here's what I mean by the colour really stands out. You might be able to just make out on this tree over here a few bright orange patches. There's a few trooping funnels dotted around, but these are well past their best now. I'm not going to pick these. But here's some I found a couple of weeks ago. You get some really nice long troops of these mushrooms, and these are a really good edible. It's been a pretty wet day again, but got a bit of a break in the rain now, so I thought this looked like a pretty nice place to stop and make a bit of lunch. I'm going to use some of my winter chanterelle mushrooms and some of the velvet shanks, and then I've just got some pre-cooked rice and some pesto. Nice and simple. So with the velvet shanks, I don't use the stems because they're quite tough, although I do chuck them in stocks sometimes. Here's some yellow brain fungus, also known as witch's butter. Apparently it's an edible, but it's one I've not tried myself. There's some trooping funnels in amongst these ferns here. Some of these look just about good enough to pick. Just about at the end of their edible stage, but I'll pick a couple of these for making soups with. Found some more here, trooping funnels. Some of these are pretty decent actually. There's a nice one. The rain's really picked up, so I'm just taking shelter for a bit. Here we have some sulphur tuft mushrooms. These ones are toxic there. Here's a mushroom you're pretty much guaranteed to find every winter once you find some elder trees. This is wood ear or jelly ear, another edible mushroom. Gets its name quite simply because it grows on wood and it looks like an ear. I like dehydrating these mushrooms and then using them in soups or ramen, or using them fresh and really finely slicing them into ribbons and then using them in stir fries. They have got a very unusual jelly-like sort of rubber texture, which puts quite a lot of people off, but I think these are a really good edible mushroom. Very, very common on elder trees in winter. Here's another elder tree with quite a few wood ears on. Sometimes you'll find a tree absolutely covered from top to bottom in these mushrooms.